Levels are coming through.
Levels of EGS.
Welcome to this live coverage of Farnham Town versus Hartley Whitney. I'm Ben Smith, joined by Farnham chairman Harry Hugo. Farnham, who are on 99 points after the 3-0 win at Westfield on Saturday, which was a very comfortable afternoon. Hartley Whitney will be looking to prevent such comfort as they come out now for the Guard of Honour, which they have chosen rightly to give to Farnham Town, who are hunting down the century. And we await the entrance, Harry, of a team that will want to just finish off this season strongly, and that 100-point mark for the second successive season is very much within touching distance.
Yeah, it's a big occasion, really. Back-to-back Centurions is a big deal. It's not something that comes around too often. Obviously, we've been very, very fortunate here at the Memorial Ground to see some epic matches and 2 epic seasons back-to-back, but you don't really see back-to-back Centurions very often, and we are 1 point away from that, 2 games to go.
And here they come. Ryan Canane leads his team out here for the last time this season. What a campaign it's been, and they want to give these fans something special on Easter Monday. And they line up with Jordan Stepney coming back into the back four to replace Max Meaton. The rest of the defence is Jack Dean, Ryan Canane and Joe Jackson, who scored on Saturday. Zaki Waller is in goal behind them. Harry Cooksey comes back in from the start to replace Mark Waters. Ben Purcell lines up alongside him. It's back-to-back starts in the number 10 position for Kai Tanner, who also scored at Westfield. Daryl Sanders plays with him. In behind Adam Liddell and Jordan Gallagher. On the bench, it's Mark Waters, Great Evans, Max Meaton and Sanderson Croy, who we don't expect to see featured today. He is carrying an injury.
Yeah, strong lineup for Farnham. A few missing for Hartley, but still a decent enough setup for them. Not really playing for anything other than to spoil the Farnham Town party. But this is a relatively local derby. We don't know the proximity between the two clubs. We're probably talking less than 10 miles. And that proximity massively changes next season for Farnham in the Southern League. A huge amount of travel. Closest team will probably be Basingstoke or Bracknell if they both stay up. But plenty of away games going as far as Weymouth, Plymouth, Swindon, Yate, maybe Evesham. Lots of teams. It massively changes for Farnham Town next season.
We will give you the Hartley Whitney team. Nicholas Jupp is in goal, and it's Jack Penton, George Wallace, Aaron Birchett, Adam New, Louis Downey, Calvin Kamara, Mac Ford, Noah Amissa, Connor Lynch and Sam Tanner. We will be joined at half-time by the Hartley Whitney Director of Football, Anthony Millerick, to give his thoughts on their campaign and the season as a whole. It's all coming to a head, especially in the playoff picture, which Hartley Whitney were very much a part of until the last couple of months when they really fell away. They lost 5 on the bounce up until this Saturday, when they did manage to earn their first win in quite some time against Ashford, who are resigned to relegation. Guernsey still fighting for their lives down there, but looking bleak for them too. But Hazen Yedding and Moneyfields still looking to gate crash that playoff party with Kingstonian, who were Farnham's biggest contenders all season long, now in a very precarious position in 5th. And we don't have any other early kickoffs today, with the exception of that Guernsey-Kingstonian game, which is at 2 o'clock. Farnham and Hartley Whitney getting this full slate of Isthmian South Central fixtures underway. And we do have the parade through the Farnham Town Centre, with both the rugby club and this football team celebrating their achievements this season after the conclusion of this fixture.
Yeah, so the only game we're really going to be able to see is going to be Guernsey-Kingstonian, isn't it?
Yeah.
After we kick off for the second half.
So hopefully this game is providing enough entertainment that we don't have to look at other scores, because we're not going to have anything to look at. Farnham in their claret and blue home kit, and Hartley Whitney in all orange. The second time of asking, we are underway. It has been a very relaxed end to the season really for Farnham. It was a straightforward win on Saturday. Westfield going down to 10 men in the first half. It almost became a training session in the end.
Yeah, funny game Saturday. But a nice one for Max Meaton to come back into that game. I was talking to him earlier. Delighted to get back out on the pitch, playing 60-70 minutes.
Yeah, they have gone back to their more recognised back four today, Farnham. Jordan Stepney back in after having his rest. Harry Cooksley also sat out from the start, as did Daryl Sanders. But here come Hartley Whitney looking to carve out the first chance of the game. Kidane got enough on it.
Yeah, Louis Downey, former Ryan's Park man, came here after the split after Gallagher Gate. Wasn't the only one to leave that Ryan's Park side.
Tanner's on the move. Full of confidence at the moment, Tanner.
He could have done with a better first touch there though, Kai. Got himself into a really nice position.
Scored in a rare defeat at Hazen Yedding to kick off April. And that was a rare loose touch by Joe Jackson, whose goal on Saturday wasn't one that he'll be putting into his highlight reels.
No. It's not a long highlight reel though, is it?
Well, he's come up with some big moments this season.
He has indeed. He has indeed.
Mostly here, the header against Hazen Yedding and the equaliser against Raynes Park Vale.
Yeah, big moments.
It's Lynch looking to bring this down. He has done quite nicely, and that's swept across by Wallace. Looking for Kamara.
Kamara, former Farnham man, was here in Paul Johnson's first season in 2022-2023. I think he's the only former Farnham man. He got Mac Ford, number 8, former Badshot Lee. Trying to think of anyone else. I don't think so.
Here's Jack Dean. Little was too physical.
Adam New is a coach for Hartley Whitney, but they're that low on players. Former Badshot Lee man himself. Decent little turnout in the sunshine. See my parents-in-law on that side of the Pepper Army. And nice and full all around the ground.
Yeah. Headers down by Kidane, but it hasn't got very far. Wallace forced into action. The shot from Tanner stinging his fingertips.
It was straight at him, but he did well to hold on to it. Zaki Waller. Not brilliant defending by any means from Farnham Town, but get away with it.
Yeah, they've just got to be switched on today. They've, of course, got half an eye on what's to come later on, and the job already being done a long time ago, of course, but that 100-point mark is by no means a formality if they don't keep their heads. Here's Purcell.
See the 4-4-2 shape that Hartley are going to employ and look to hit Farnham on that counter-attack.
Yeah, Noah Amisa leading the line.
Yeah, he was at Met Police, Elisa, until about 8 weeks ago when he joined Hartley Whitney. Dangerous player.
Dean. Wallace was looking to stay tight. Still no sign of Owen Dean, Jack Dean's brother. He's missed the last couple of games after being injured at Hayes and Yeddick. Tanner. And there's the determination of Amisa to win that back. Bit of a free hit, of course, for Hartley Whitney today.
Totally. They do have a cup final in a week's time, or about 10 days' time, against Tadley Calaver in the Aldershot Senior Cup. Will we play that Aldershot? Opportunity for them to finish their season on a high.
Yeah, that'll make them feel much better about themselves after really losing ground in this league in 2025.
Yeah, they're in such a good position, weren't they?
Cooksley looking for Liddell, just floated it a bit too low. Claims for handball against Kamara. Just ricocheted up onto his arm rather than anything deliberate.
Yeah, I think the thing that Farnham needs to be aware of is the game not going flat. As much as it will feel like a bit of a walk in the park, this game, not because of the standard of the opposition, but just more because of Farnham and Hartley's position in the table and what they're playing for. It's still important that they entertain the crowd here at the Memorial Ground, send them off after an enjoyable season here at home.
Jackson. And now across to Purcell.
That's a nice pass
for Jack Dean, who keeps it alive and wins the corner.
Does really well, Jack Dean. Slightly overhit on a hard surface from Ben Purcell, but it was positive. It's fine to move it side to side, then find the killer pass. A good opening 6 minutes from the town.
Saw Jordan Gallagher mostly on set-piece duties on Saturday, but Cooksley restored to the 11 this afternoon. He's been on corners all season to good effect. Scored the winner here.
Gallagher and Downey getting a talking to. Obviously been teammates for the last 3 years. First time they'd have played against each other.
It's a high one by Cooksley, and Dean gets up. A really powerful header, just too high.
Great header. It's a round of applause from Farnham faithful.
Yeah, Cooksley scored a big goal here against Kingstonian a couple of weeks ago. After a long drought, it was well worth the wait. And the home form, Farnham, has really improved as the season's gone on. Sammy's header for Cooksley, given away to Penton.
Yeah, that wasn't Cooksley's finest pass.
Kamara is going to try and have a go at Jackson. He's made some good progress. Stepney came across.
Excellent defending. He's had a brilliant back end to the season, Jordan Stepney. I think he'll be first to admit that he had a tough start in a Farnham shirt. Early sending off. Maybe trying to work out his position in this Farnham team. Having always been the number one centre-back in the teams that he's played in. But I think, really, of the last 6-7 months, he's been fantastic.
Good leap from Dean, a nice cushion header from Liddell, and Tanner.
Why is he past
Sanders?
What a save.
Really important save. You asked why Tanner didn't shoot himself, and he puts his head in his hands, perhaps wondering the same.
I just can't believe he hasn't shot himself. It's a good pass in the end, and Sanders should score, really. Good save. Let's Farnham take the corner quickly. Not sure why they've taken it quickly. There's no one in the box other than Jack Dean, who has won his header.
Liddell with his back to goal, and Jackson! And that whistle's very, very narrowly wide, but the chances are coming thick and fast.
They are, but these are the ones you need to put in the onion bag.
Just thought with the confidence Tanner must be feeling at the moment. Really thought he was going to let fly. Lovely football, wasn't it? It's from Liddell to play into his path.
It's been a lively start, though, from Kai Tanner. And Farnham down this right-hand side, that's for sure. Sanders will be scratching his head out. He's not on the score sheet, as will Joe Jackson. Little mini competition for goals as well between Jackson, Tanner and Cooksley. Kai Tanner currently winning.
Yeah, a couple of goals in April for him, taking him to 6 for the campaign.
Great header from.
And when you consider how much Tanner's played at fullback,
He's done brilliantly.
It's not a bad little return in terms of goal contributions. Important goals in that spell as well.
And some not important goals. I remember the 7th in the 7-0 that he celebrated as if he won the World Cup. An excellent start for Farnham in this opening 10 minutes. Not got the goal they potentially deserve, but it feels like it's coming.
Purcell with time to turn. Klein asking for more tempo from his players.
That's a nice pass from Sanders, skipping out a player looking for Kinane, who goes long.
And that's almost dropped for Liddell.
Did really well there, the defender.
So he cushions it out of play. The scenario was very different when these two teams met on Boxing Day. Farnham were not really at full throttle in the weeks and months leading up to that. They dropped a lot of points here, and they lost to Hanworth Villa and a few weeks before that, and Ascot drew here as well.
We were so good for that first 30 minutes on Boxing Day, though.
Almost turned the season around at that time, wasn't it?
It was huge, and then we had that kind of blip a couple of days later against Baggy Lee here, where we went 1-0 down very early, and then we had to turn it around, and we weren't great that day, but we sort of forged out that result. And then it looked like we were going to go to Kingstonian on the 4th or 5th of January, and that ended up getting postponed. And from there on in, really, we've been so consistent. Yeah, that half an hour at Hartley on Boxing Day was probably as good as I've seen Farnham Town play. Blew them away.
Yeah, and Hartley Whitney have slid down the table ever since. Jackson trying to keep this one alive. He does. Touch from Birchett. Now Cooksley can regather for Farnham. Good strength from Sanders. Onto Purcell.
Farnham moving the ball nicely.
Dean into Sanders. His touch is good. Wants support though. Gets it from Dean again. Dean went over.
Did well to get in front of his man. Clever football from Farnham. Lovely run from Daryl Sanders. Found so many times like that from Kinane.
Hartley Whitney not delighted with the decision. Didn't look like the assistant referee gave it, but the referee did.
It was just classic get in front of your man, wasn't it? He was looking for it, Jack, but it was definitely the right decision. This is one you want to see just whipped across the face of the goal. Someone to attack it.
Jody, come back a couple. Come back a couple. Come on to it.
That's another deep one from Cooksley. Jackson with the first contact didn't quite drop for Jack Dean, and now Tanner having to do some defending.
Very good
flick from Cooksley.
Cooksley and Gallagher. Good piece of defending.
Bit of a blow for Gallagher on Saturday with Eddie Simon scoring twice. The gap's 5 now.
And Daryl Sanders taking a goal off his heels. It looked like it was destined for the bottom corner, that Gallagher volley. And then came Sanders.
Here is Sanders, who can't be blamed for making short. Cooksley on the move, alongside. Little just needs to hold it up.
Oof, if he let it go, you fancy Kaitana running onto that one. Excellent start from Farnham. They've started hot. Just need the reward now.
Cooksley looking to dig one out, having to turn back onto his right foot. Does get a good delivery in, and at the back post there is Dean. The flag's gone up, perhaps against Dean. It is offside.
I can't believe he's missed, regardless of whether or not he was in a legal position or not. Beat his man, got his head to it.
But yeah, the energy about Farnham is impressive. They were able to rotate heavily and probably conserve some energy in that second half against Westfield with the man advantage.
It's weird not having any other games on.
Yeah. Downey, and now Wallace. Canane looking for Dean, just saw them slightly short. Canane can dig it out this time. And Little,
nice touch
for Sanders. Gallagher is on the move and so's Little now. Gallagher getting into the box. Tanner arriving too, and Sanders is there. And his shot was pretty straight for Jupp to be able to tip it over.
But it's been excellent from Farnham, playing some lovely football with intent, getting forward. Only Jupp in the way so far with a few really good saves. That one was more routine. But Sanders has been on the end of a few. He's looking good.
He's gone short.
Well, they had success in the last corner.
Everybody forward again. And it's gone out of play from Cooksley.
Lads, you get on him. I want him whipped.
Cooksley removed from corner duty.
Don't think he can have any complaints over that one.
Dreadful. Absolutely dreadful.
They do often like to play that deep corner, looking for those taller players at the back post to try and get.
It's not the instruction. That's for sure. As proven by Harry Cooksley being removed from his duties.
Here's Cooksley. That one's misplaced as well. Hartley Whitney not really been able to get much of a foothold. No real sustained periods of possession for them.
No, it's been very much kick it clear.
Brian Canane. Farnham have got it forward so quickly up to now. Here's Cooksley. Angle was just cut off for Dean, so he'll go back to Canane.
Yeah, nice defensive shape from Hartley Whitney. Patient. Some movements like that from Sanders, though, which will open up the gaps.
Stepney. Now Ryan Canane. He's looking down that channel again for Dean. And there was a very committed challenge from both Dean and Wallace. Wallace wanted the free kick. Farnham get on with it quickly, and here's Tanner. Just look to slide it into Little.
Well, that's all Hartley can do.
Here's Sanders. Canane will look for the diagonal again. It's well found towards Jackson. Sanders coming in deep. Just opened up some space for Purcell now.
Farnham being patient.
Kane's moved into space now.
Just under hit from Jackson. It's an opportunity for Kane to step in.
Here's Gallagher. He's been quiet so far, but he's got the wind in his sails there.
Tackle. He doesn't know where the ball is, the player.
I've got 176 people watching on the live stream, so thank you for joining us on Easter Monday. Early kick-off here at the Memorial Ground.
It's definitely filled out.
One of the comments says, mention Liam, who's attended every match, taking the photos.
Yeah, he's done a fantastic job, Liam. Brought him in 2 seasons ago. He did a great job season before that at Fleet Town. We saw that, and we were like, yeah, we'll have a bit of that. And he's been brilliant for us. Been at every single game for the last 2 years. Him and his dad, Stu. And they've done a fantastic job.
Cooksley, man who always knows where the camera is. He was dispossessed there. And can Hartley break? That was a good touch from Tanner. And a good shot too. And it needed to be tipped wide by Zaki Waller.
Good save. Good save. Nice break from Hartley. Good strike from Tanner.
Yeah, might have just been creeping wide, but Waller wasn't to know that.
Good strong hand.
An opportunity for Hartley Whitney to trouble Waller from the cross. All but 3 players in the penalty area for the visitors. It's a low one, and Cooksley missed it, and it's in! Against the run of play. Out of nothing, really, Hartley Whitney are in front, as Lynch was on hand to tap home. Cooksley missed his kick, and nobody was there to deny Lynch.
Yeah, silly goal to concede. Farnham's dominance has been that of a 1-0 lead when it's 1-0 deficit they face. And it's a mistake from Harry Cooksley that's caused it. Farnham is susceptible to set pieces. That's another one.
It wasn't a great delivery, was it? Cooksley just completely mistimed his clearance. And it's been one of the most impressive opening 20 minutes we've seen from Farnham, especially given the circumstances. Nothing to play for necessarily, but they've been punished for not taking those opportunities. One chance, one goal really for Hartley Whitney. And Farnham now have plenty of incentive to continue attacking. Just switched off.
Yeah, nothing needs to change for Farnham.
Canane looking for an instant response. He was looking for Liddell. Cooksley.
Nice touch from him.
Now Sanders. Oh, he was looking for Cooksley. He wanted an instant piece of retribution.
Excellent from Joe Jackson.
Now Tanner. Gallagher tried to squeeze it through for Jackson. Gives away the throw in the end. Emernagy, happy birthday. Thanks for watching all this time. Aaron asks, where's Flanagan?
Flanagan is on a dual reg at Chertsey Town in the division above, actually, and he's done a good job to get them out of what was a very dicey relegation scrap.
Yeah, scrap we're all following with interest, of course. Looking ahead to next season. That was a strong challenge. Here's Canane. Goes direct to Liddell again. Liddell just using his body to distract Wallace. It's an interesting battle we're seeing between Liddell and Wallace, and the Hartley left back having to deal with Jack Dean's forward runs as well, but he's doing well.
Yeah, I like Wallace. I've watched him a few times for Hartley, not just when we've played him. I think he's good, excellent left foot, good going forward. One of the better left backs in this round.
Canane.
Farnham can't let the mistake get to them. But it's an ideal start from Hartley. They've weathered the storm, find themselves 1-0 up thanks to a fluke opportunity. Well, he's going to do exactly the same thing as he did down the other end.
He's won it back though, recovered really well. Tanner has opened up for him. This time he did shoot. That was a far less appealing opportunity than the one he turned down earlier. Just enough on that Purcell pass back to Canane. And Wallace allows it to bounce and roll into the arms of Jupp, who, for all Farnham's dominance, hasn't really had too much to do.
Yeah, a couple of good saves, and he one down low to his right hand side from Daryl Sanders as he hits a bunker shot there.
Liddell. Now Tanner, that's nice. And now Cooksley with Gallagher to his left. He's fed it into Gallagher, and the ball across from the Farnham man wasn't quite able to find both Liddell and Sanders, who had made good progress. Purcell.
So deep, Hartley.
Yeah, I mean, for the spectacle of Hartley goal, maybe wasn't the best outcome from the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, but will mean you'll see a lot more Farnham attacking, and probably Hartley happy with their goal. How far forward Wintney and Canane are.
Gallagher now. He's just been dispossessed a few times, and Jackson gives away the free kick. Not to get ahead of ourselves, but not as much depth on the Farnham bench as we're used to seeing. They do have Gray Evans as an attacking option, but we're not expecting to see Sam Disencroy. And then you've got Waters and Max Meaton on there too.
Yeah, I'd be very shocked if we saw Sammy D get on the pitch.
Someone asked if they're live streaming the bus, but no, but I imagine the TikTok account will be
active.
Yeah. Purcell. Now Jordan Stepney. Just looking to force it into a tight area.
First 20 minutes was so positive because the Farnham moved it from side to side quickly. That's a nice ball. Just out of play. They moved it from side to side quickly, Farnham. Found the gaps in behind, the likes of Jack Dean, Kai Tanner, Joe Jackson even getting in behind, Adam Liddell. Been less of that in this last 10 minutes since the goal.
Stepney. Now Cooksley. And again, they're very, very deep here. Hartley Whitney. Canane.
Again, just forcing it a bit.
Gary says he's off to the Chertsey game shortly. Enjoy yourself. Very tight battle at the bottom of that league. Here come Hartley Whitney again with
Downey here.
Oh, and he's got Tanner. And his touch just got away from him.
It was Ben Purcell who missed his header.
Liddell goes over on the halfway line. Purcell. Let's just silence the ground a little bit, that opening goal for the visitors. Farnham will want to restore some of the atmosphere here. Of course, they will attack the clock end in the second half. But they won't want to go into the break behind.
Sanders comes deep to pick up the ball.
Here's Jackson. Little on the move, creates some room for Gallagher now.
Encourages Canane to come forward.
Canane gets it back from Dean and looks to play the return. And it's dug out by Dean. Purcell on the edge challenges for it. And Purcell has a go. And it's a weak one. Canane heads that back to Waller. Now Purcell. Anissa still doing his best to press.
He's done a lot of running.
Jackson. Farnham have got to make the pitch as big as they can.
Yeah, got back into a better passing rhythm last few minutes, and Canane's nice and far forward. That's a nice touch from Tanner.
Dean, there's two balls on the pitch. Don't know how that's happened. But it stopped the Farnham attack. Ball to Dean wasn't the best anyway. And the referee has got to decide who gets the ball back, and looks as though he's going to give it to Jack Dean.
Felt like it was a Jack Dean ball.
Yeah, it's not an easy one, is it, for the referee, that?
It's been turned around.
Let's go with it! Susie bounces, let's go!
It just takes some of the momentum out of what Farnham are trying to do. New went down in the little challenge, and the referee saw a foul there. Again, the referee overruling the linesman's non-decision. Just a couple of difficult decisions for the officials. It's just eating up some time. It's just taking the sting out of it, which is ideal.
Yeah, I mean, this is what Hartley are good at. I have to say, this management team were at Nap Hill against us last year. This is what they are good at. You don't want to be in tight games against them. You don't want to be 1-0 down against them.
Stepney with the header, but it's against Anissa. Purcell can hook it away. Gallagher, the only Farnham player in Hartley territory, but that's beautifully brought down by Cooksley, and now Sanders can get going and gets away from his man. It's bounced off Tanner, and that benefited Wallace. That was a nasty one from Wallace, who receives a little shove from Jack Dean. He wasn't happy with that challenge. It was late, but it was quite impactful as well.
It was a poor tackle. No complaints there. It was a poor tackle.
So, set piece opportunity for Farnham now. There's a deep crossing position. Cooksley, who we wondered if he might have been taken off corner duties, but he is on duty for this.
I'm not 100% sure what the difference is.
Hartley Whitney hold the line on the edge of the box. Plenty of room for Cooksey to play in behind it. He goes deep again. And knockdowns almost come for Canane. Jack Dean. Gallagher. Whipped in by Gallagher. It might come for Harry Cooksey. Well,
2 misses.
London buses for Harry Cooksey. It's not often you see a missed time.
That one was harder. I'll give him that one. That one was harder. First one, I'm not going to let him off.
Here he is again. Jack Dean. Into Sanders. That was hard but fair.
Was a good tackle. Definitely a hard tackle, but it was a good one.
Lynch.
That's a good ball as
Looking
well.
to get Kamara in. Waller comes out and should be able to stay within his area to gather. Little giving chase. Well defended by Wallace. Ten minutes to go until half time. Farnham do trail through that Connor Lynch goal.
And if you missed it, it was a goal that came 100% against the run of play, and it was a goal that was scored due to a Farnham mistake at the front post of a corner.
Little looking for Tanner, and that's going to fall for Sam Tanner, and he was a bit too keen there to get that out to Kamara. Lee Thomas says hello on the stream.
Ah, it's lovely to welcome him.
Here's Purcell.
That's a nice ball.
And a nice touch from Dean as well. Cuts inside to create plenty of space, and it's in with the outside of his foot. Cooksey. Now Stepney.
He needs options.
As Dean. And Canane. Cooksey. Not many tall players to aim at from crossing positions, really. No great Evans this afternoon, until later on at least. Here's Jackson. Sanders. Dean.
Got it.
And Dean fires across. Claims for handball.
I'm not sure what it struck. Struck something hard.
And Farnham get the give away the free kick.
Jack Dean didn't appeal, which makes me think it wasn't.
Yeah, no Great Evans and no Sam Evans, who won't play again this season. Only caught a short glimpse of him after his arrival. Certainly impressed. Will be a part of the team next season, of course. Jupp takes his time. First job for Hartley Whitney is to get into the break, still a goal to the good. And we're 7.5 minutes away from that being the case as Birchett plays one down the line. Canane goes long, and it's well aimed towards Gallagher, and that will be a corner.
Yeah, nice link up between Gallagher and Canane there. Farnham need to make sure they don't take this short though.
Yeah, Sanders will take the responsibility this time.
A welcome break from a lofted Cooksey cross.
Cooksey waits on the edge. Sam Tanner keeping him company. It is whipped in and punched away by Jupp.
Over, just.
Didn't look convincing there, did he?
No, he had so long to catch it. Cooksey does come across to take this one. It was a better ball in if Farnham attacked it. It was a good one.
Tanner comes short. Cooksley looks as though he's going to ignore him. And Kinane goes behind. That was a good opportunity for Kinane.
Was. Yeah, it's been a half of two halves, really. Farnham dominating the ball in both, but looking far more impactful in the first 20 minutes than they have in the latter. Will not want to get on that bus with a loss.
No. It's going to be a tall order for Lynch to keep that in. The goal scorer.
It was a gift for Lynch. Maybe you could argue someone needed to get in front of him, but it was a tap-in reality as the ball came across on the ground.
Liddell didn't hold his run. And you're just starting to see some frustrated figures in claret and blue. Cooksley trying to lift them. But it's a bit, we've said it a few times, it's a bit flat in here.
Really good.
We've not had any other scores to keep us occupied. Kamara couldn't keep that in. Farnham's got to switch on because Tanner is looking menacing. Played in towards Lynch by Wallace, just too much on it. Gary says, looks a decent crowd. What's the capacity?
Capacity's about 2,750 in here, I'm told. Yeah, decent crowd. We've averaged just over 650, I think, this season. Been really, really good. So good to finish above our average this afternoon. 1 o'clock kick-off on Easter Monday. It's not an easy one to get yourself down to, but appreciate everyone that's turned themselves out.
Kinane looking for Cooksley. It's that same ball again. And it's dealt with again. That's good work and good strength from Amissa.
Really good.
Beat Kinane to the ball there, and it's over the top for Tanner, who is onside. Dean scurrying back to try and stay tight to the number 11, who gets the cross in, away by Kinane, and picked up by Liddell. And Farnham will want to be quick about this. Liddell goes down. Looked like he might have got the ball there.
Yeah, it did.
Not only is Mac Ford penalised, he's shown a yellow card. Bit unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. I think the referee got the last one right. I think, although if he thinks it's a foul, it is a yellow. But it did feel like he got the ball. How does the Hartley bench?
Yeah, their feelings clear. Kinane. Tanner pulls into a good pocket. Purcell.
That was a poor, weak.
Almost didn't have his balance as he struck it across towards Jackson.
It was a lazy pass. Purcell gets away with it.
Kinane carries and finds Cooksley. On for Tanner. Jack Dean backed out of the challenge. Picked up by Sam Tanner now. Liddell tracking back. Really good work from Tanner. He goes down. 3 additional minutes, just signalled by the man in the middle. Do stay with us at the conclusion of this half. We will talk through the first 45. And we'll be joined by Anthony Millerick, the director of football at Hartley Whitney.
I think we will. I haven't seen him. Well, that's a nice part.
He did say he was going to come up here, so he's just down there. So hope to be joined by him. I'm sure he'll be very happy as things stand. Despite the slide that they've endured throughout the last few weeks. Dean looking for Tanner. Tanner collects. Now Gallagher. Middle. Cooksley. Referee almost getting in the way. Jackson. Purcell is overlapping. And then it comes from Purcell. Dean looking to head it towards Sanders. And Kamara can bring Hartley out. Handball against Jackson. We are now moving into that added time. This will be the ideal preparation for Hartley Whitney ahead of that cup final you mentioned.
Absolutely.
One of the boxes' hands was literally, he hasn't moved his hand. Hold on.
That's out of play. Stepney. Here's Jack Dean. Touch from Tanner, keeping it in. For Dean again. Darryl Sanders. Gallagher is onside. And whips one in. And it bounced just in front of Jupp. Could have been awkward for him, but nobody attacking it from a Farnham perspective. Farnham are just getting a bit frustrated at how long Hartley are taking over these situations, but Jupp appears to be injured. And the Farnham players will come for a drink and they all look a little bit disconsolate. Just taken by surprise at how they fell behind.
Yeah, but they need to pick themselves up. They've come back from larger deficits in the last few weeks at this ground. Think back to that Hayes and Yelling game under the lights.
Yeah, one of the best nights of the season. At the moment, this one is not following in the same footsteps, but plenty of time. Jupp is back up and okay. Smile on his face. Does mean we'll probably get another minute or two before half time.
Sanders going to chase it. Skewed away.
Yeah, this might be the last chance Farnham get to restore parity before the interval. Kinane. Now Sanders. He was so bright in the first 20 minutes.
It's another very lazy pass from Purcell.
Yeah, he was put under pressure. He's won it back though.
Another horrible pass, though.
Yeah, it's not often you're able to say that so often about Purcell.
A few just lazy ones.
They've all been guilty of it, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. Just not fully committing to the pass. And they're not quite making the man that they intended. Or doing so slowly and breaking the move down, slowing it down.
Jackson is offside. And Canane furious. And that is the end of the first half, which started relatively well for Farnham Town. But Connor Lynch's goal, midway through the first 45 minutes, has Hartley Whitney in front.
Yeah, funny half, really. Funny half. But this is exactly what Hartley Whitney are good at. They're very, very good at getting in front by hook or by crook and then staying there.
Yeah, if you were to level one criticism at Farnham over the last couple of months, it is that when they've fallen behind, they've not really been able to drag themselves. Just think about that Hayes and Yeading game. The same thing's happened today. Since winning the league, maybe the motivation to get back on level terms and win the game hasn't quite been there.
Yeah, it's much harder, isn't it, to get yourself up for any game. I mean, I think what we were both really impressed with is how they. Excuse me. Hold on. Up he comes. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah, I think it's been so difficult to get up for any game since the championship. What I would say is they started really, really well, and they probably deserve to be 1-0 up. But Hartley have stuck in there. They've really good defensive shape, limited Farnham for chances, and then took their own when it came. They forced a couple of good saves out of Zaki as well.
They did. Anthony Millerick has just come up to the gantry to join us.
Go on, you take that.
I'm sure he's.
You get the smile on his face.
Well, I thought it might be a slightly different half-time interview than the one we're obviously going to have, so hence the smile.
Yeah, well, the first 20 minutes, it seemed like the game was settling into quite a familiar pattern here in terms of Farnham being on top, Hartley sitting quite deep. They waited for their chance and they took it when it came.
Yeah, obviously Hartley had a good chance in the first 5 minutes. Essentially, whenever you guys sort of make a mistake in the midfield, and we've got our midfield higher, as soon as we break out of midfield, we look like we can cause a problem. I think as the pattern of the game has gone on, we've sort of, from a Hartley perspective, we've kind of settled into a very, let's be honest, deep shape. A lot of numbers across the back line, waiting for a mistake. I still think, from a Hartley perspective, we can have a little bit more quality into trying to get at your back four, but given what has happened to many a side here at half-time, coming in at half-time being 1-0 to the good, you'd take that all day long.
Yeah, some of the trouble that Farnham have had here in the past, especially earlier on this season, was pacing behind, and you've certainly got that in abundance with Kamara, who's looked lively at times. We've been quite impressed with Misser up front, giving Canane a real battle as well. Yeah,
he has. When you got two centre halves like you do, who are so dominantly physical and aerially good, when a game like Hartley, where you're defending a lot of the game, and perhaps not the best of balls has gone up into your lone forward man with nobody else around. If your centre halves are coming through and eating that, just eating up meat and drink, sending the ball back quickly into Hartley's half, then you're always going to struggle to get players up. But no, he has. I think he's won perhaps more than he should, and he's given Hartley something to play off.
From a defensive perspective, though, you'd have to say, since Hartley went in front, they've looked quite comfortable at restraining Farnham. We've not really seen so many chances since that opening goal. Yeah,
Farnham had a few sort of came down the Farnham right side. Jack Dean, a little bit of a mismatch there, because Connor Lynch is actually a 9 who's tracking him all the way in. Had some joy. You had a couple where the ball went into the box, third man run coming in. I think you had 2 that the goalkeepers made great saves on. But sort of since then, again, Hartley go, right, though, we haven't had to deal with too much.
What do you expect the half-time team talk to be like from a Hartley perspective now? Because it's going to be very difficult at that clock end to keep Farnham out for 45 minutes. You still want to maintain some of that attacking threat, won't you?
Yeah, and I mean, the other thing you guys have got in abundance is height and set pieces as well. The longer this game goes on, the more scrappy it gets. It's two things that can happen, really, is Hartley either sitting completely and then we are camped then in your half. The problem with that is it's not just you might be able to plug the gaps in open play, but you can start giving away silly free kicks, which happens. Then you're under pressure immediately with the extra physicality, the extra height that Farnham have. So it's certainly not going to be an easy half of football. From a Hartley perspective, I'd like to be brave and go, right, we'll focus on our shape. We'll go on the proviso that Farnham are going to stay the same. This is how we unlock them slightly more. And if Hartley start breaking with purpose and threaten the Farnham goal, then it puts the onus back on Farnham to come out and do something different.
Since Farnham won the league, we've seen quite a few games where maybe both teams don't have much to fight for. We saw it at Westfield on Saturday, where second half we weren't really seeing much action. Hartley are now in a position where it's not going to happen for them in terms of the playoffs. What is the motivation? What keeps the players up for games like this when there's no objectives necessarily?
Well, this historically, before we got promoted and then you got promoted, we didn't play each other for a few years, but it was a derby. You know, we're only a couple of miles down the road from yourselves. The higher up you go in the leagues, games like these do become the local derbies. I think also there's a lot of people here. It's a very special day for you guys, and rightfully so. And as players, you can either approach it one of two ways, which is you can go and put the swords down and go, right, go on then, it's your day, walk all over us. Or you go, well, actually, this is going to be a counter motivational point for us. We don't want to be made to look fools. Let's go see what we got. And you guys have had two incredible seasons. Let's see what we are like against the top guys.
And you expecting to be in that mix next season? It's definitely looked for the first half of this campaign as though you were going to be up there. It's obviously fallen away, but anything you can take from games like today into next season?
Well, absolutely you would. I mean, unfortunately for us, we had key players out at the wrong time. Lack of strength in depth. Got unlucky. There's things that can't be helped. But also, where from a club and from a management perspective, learn the lessons from this year. For those guys like yourselves, it was their first time at step 4. A lot of the players have come up from step 5. Take the lessons you've learned. Why have we got to a certain point in the season, which was ultimately 5-6 weeks ago, and come up short, and see what we can do to just gradual improvements.
It's a fascinating race, though, isn't it, for the playoffs this season? Been lots of twists and turns. We see Kingstonian now. We've obviously been tracking their results for the whole season. They're in a bit of trouble now in terms of staying in the playoffs. What do you see happening over the next few weeks?
You always look at the form side. So I think the Kingstonian fall down the league, it probably started when you guys were okay. They were never neck and neck with you, but they were the ones chasing you down. I think again, you talk about motivation. All of a sudden they think, right, we've got a chance of maybe catching Farnham, maybe doing something special. You go up there, you absolutely thump them, and that is a hell of a blow. And all of a sudden, as a player group, right, your objectives have changed slightly. Right, it's now playoffs. If the whole season you're thinking, right, we can do something special, we can challenge Farnham, we might go up automatically. The rug then gets pulled from under you. Can you reset? Can you realign? And clearly, whatever's happened up there, it hasn't been a good time for them. I will look at whoever the form sides are going into it. Home games obviously very important as well, and which player group's got the experience, because it's an incredible day when you do go up through the playoffs. Who's got the more senior player group? Who's going to treat the game for what it is on the day? It's a game of football.
You guys have got a big occasion yourselves as well in a couple of weeks in that cup final against Hartley. Is that going to be a nice end to the season? Maybe look back at the season as a whole as a successful one if you can notch that trophy.
Absolutely, that was one that we formerly had good. We had a really good record in, and it was with us for a number of years. For whatever reason, we haven't retained it for a while. So the objectives for the management group when they took the job in the summer was, attain a top 10 finish. We know where we are as a club. We know our budgets, and we know where the budgets approximately lie in the league. Unfortunately, where the boys have done so well, there's always going to be an air of disappointment when you fall away. But I agree with you. If you go on and win a cup final, you get your day out. You go, right, well, we've finished 9th in the league, 10th in the league. Haven't quite bettered what we were setting out to do, but we've got some silverware in the cabinet anyway. You go, yeah, that's okay.
And just finally, Farnham moving up to step 3. I know you guys have got some experience of that. It is a big jump, isn't it, from 4 to 3? How do you think Farnham will handle that?
I think you'll be fine. I think you've got a very good management team. You've got a good squad of players, some of which have been there and done it. It's step 3's a great league. I personally love it. Away days, which are far more frequent on the bus, on the coach with the supporters. You go to new grounds, and when you go to away days, they are proper away days. They're really good facilities against well-drilled, organised sides. When you start taking scouts and you start beating some of these big teams with this fantastic history, and it makes it you come away from it feeling proud. So I think you've got enough in there to be comfortable. You add a few, and who knows where you go.
Very much looking forward to it. Anyway, thanks for joining us. Good luck in the cup final.
And thank you very much, and congratulations on your season. Whatever happens, enjoy your day.
Many thanks indeed. Take care, mate. Well, that was Anthony Millerick. Very.
He can talk for England, the boy.
Yeah.
He can talk.
Very optimistic about Farnham's chances in step 3.
And he would know. Won many trophies, I keep getting told.
8 from the Southern League, Harry. 1,500 quid budget.
All they talk about Hartley is the budget. So no, he's a good lad, and Hartley a great club, and they've set up perfectly, really, and had a perfect first half.
They have, and I was just talking to him about it. It's going to be a tall order, though, to keep Farnham out for 45 minutes. They're going to want to try and maintain some of that attacking threat as well through the pace they have up front.
Yeah, and they do have a lot of pace, but the question is, they've done a lot of pressing from the front, and will they be able to keep that up for a full 90 minutes? But they've shown signs. They've got some excellent players, like you said, I think it's going to be really, really interesting 45 minutes of Farnham attacking football and trying to stop the break.
We get a lot of insight into what happens in the dressing room at half-time through non-league diaries. How aggressively do you think Paul Johnson would have been into them at half-time?
I don't think it'll be too aggressive. I think the point will be, look, boys, we've got a big moment after this game. Like, we don't want to go onto that with a damp squib, with a bit of a dull face. We did it so well 2 weeks ago against Kingstonian here, where we had to get up for a moment with the trophy lift. We didn't want to lift the trophy on a loss. I think it's a very, very similar situation. This is our last home game of the season. It's such a good season. We're obviously chasing 100 points. You don't want it to go to the wire. We've got work to do, but I believe in the boys. We know there's goals in this team, and I look forward to seeing some of the clock end in the next 45 minutes. But before we move on, we have got 30% off all club shop merchandise if you use shop 30, which I think is on screen right now somewhere here, maybe could be here, I'm not sure, but shop 30 gets you 30% off. It's only going to be valid until the end of today. It's a massive sort of like closing down sale, end of season sale, and also if you're watching in the ground, then it's also available in the club shop in the facility too. So do get your last bits of Farnham Town merch ahead of next season, ahead of the summer. Lovely polo shirts for some golf.
Any of these left?
There's a couple of those left.
Any of those left?
There's loads of these left. Farnham Town hoodies. Get yourself on the store. 30% off. This is the best chance you're going to have to cop some Farnham Town merchandise for cheap. And the players are back out for the second half.
Yeah, Hartley were out early. Not messing around. Yeah, we should also mention the podcast guys who have helped us with all these live streams this season, sponsoring the live stream side of things. This is the last one, of course, ahead of next Saturday's final game of the season. I'm sure there'll be plenty of streams in pre-season, though, which will come round quick.
Absolutely. That pre-season's looking to kick off on the 1st of July. Farnham don't enter the FA Cup in one of the early rounds for the first time in their history. So it won't be the first game Farnham play, the FA Cup game. It will be a league game, and that is the first time that has ever happened here at Farnham.
Any idea when fixtures will come out for the league?
The beauty of going up the leagues is they become more and more important. So I'd hasten a guess at sort of like end of June, early July. And we will keep a very close eye on those fixtures, because those away days are the ones we're all looking forward to.
Yes.
First time in Farnham history that we'll be travelling to lots and lots of different grounds. I think only Chertsey, Walton, Basingstoke will be the teams that Farnham have played in the league before in that league, and not all of them are guaranteed to stay up. Well, I imagine there's going to be plenty of time wasting in this half. Farnham need to get past that.
At least we've got Guernsey Kingstonian to keep us entertained as well.
Yeah, and that's a very important game. Must win for Kingstonian. Must win for Guernsey.
Absolutely.
Draw no good for either, really.
No. Be very interesting to see how Farnham respond to the adversity they faced in the first half. Jack Dean looking to create something from wide straight away, and he stayed on his feet. The flag goes up there. Ball has gone out of play for a goal kick.
It's a very exciting start to the second half.
Something to get the clock end excited early on. Thank you for staying with us on YouTube. Gary says that Frome was his favourite away day of the season. Chertsey fan. On by Lynch, and then down by Stepney, away by Jack Dean, and Gallagher's a bit isolated up there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked to see Great Evans join the attack in the next 10 minutes or so. 55-minute mark that Paul Johnson likes so much to make these changes.
Stepney. Now Sanders. Cooksley. Ryan Kinane looking straight for Jackson and finding him. Bit behind him though, but here's Sanders floating one towards Jack Dean.
That's well cleared from Connor Lynch.
Yeah, he's doing well defensively, Lynch.
He's having to do a lot of work backwards.
In by Kinane. Little with the header. And they've collided with each other there. Adam New going tumbling over.
Yeah, that was a nasty one.
Cheers, mate.
Farnham physio helping out. But yeah, Farnham with a positive start to the second half.
Yeah, I mean, not dissimilar to how they started the first. This one, not to be helped, but it's these breakages in play that will help Hartley get through the second half.
Some big games later on. Hazen Yedding against Harrow. Ascot Badshot League.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big day in South Central Division.
Yeah, Moneyfield's still within touching distance. They go to Horndean. Whether Moneyfield will actually enter the playoffs, we don't know, do we? But
I think they will now.
yeah.
That's what I'm hearing. Manager stepped down this week.
Leatherhead's race is run in that regard.
Yeah, they lost to South Park, which also relegated Ashford over the weekend.
Still 0-0 between Guernsey and Kingstonian. Early doors there. Missa had a hold of Stepney's shirt.
Work this side first. And work it.
Cooksley collects it from Canane. Saunters forward. Here's Jordan Stepney. Now Sanders. There's a deep one from him. Dean gets to it.
That is the ball, and it's been successful so far.
Shoot is the cry. Canane doesn't. Stepney. Nice turn from Cooksley, but it's forced him backwards.
Just got under it.
Yeah, easy enough for Penton, but good tenacity from Purcell to win it back.
And from Jackson.
Into Tanner. Better passing until then.
Just didn't need to play it first time, but that's a good tackle.
And Little's onto it. Oh, and it was just ahead of Gallagher. He goes down, and it's a corner. Hartley Whitney maybe not happy that Gallagher went tumbling over.
He went tumbling over, he got straight back up. Farnham take it quickly.
Gallagher. Little just beaten to it. Gallagher again.
Farnham can't lose it here. Do well in the end.
Stepney up towards Dean. Dean again. Oh,
now they've got a chance to get forward.
They're going to try and set Amisa away.
Again, it's just floated rather than directed.
Yeah. Kamara.
That's a great ball.
Onside, Amisa. Kamara trying to get up with him. Tanner's in there too. Amisa keeps going. And it was an important block from Jackson. Here's Kamara again.
Nice from Hartley Whitney.
Tanner. Across the face. And if Kamara had gambled, he might have been there to tap home. He was waiting just outside the 6-yard box. And now here come Farnham.
Poor touch.
Real warning sign there.
Yeah, it was nice from Hartley. That is what we're going to see all half. The counter-attack. Farnham need to be aware of it.
Cooksley. Dean. Now coming. Everybody back in final third.
That's great. Ball again. Fantastic header.
Out to Cooksley. Back in first time. Not enough on the cross. Little wins it back though. Purcell. Looking to inject some tempo.
That's a lovely touch.
And Gallagher just behind him. And he couldn't sort his feet out.
What a chance. What a chance for Jordan Gallagher. Brilliant play from Jackson and Sanders.
Yeah, you want to see more of that tempo. Jackson challenges for it.
Really good.
Bounced nicely for Gallagher. Farnham ball. Stepney.
Farnham turning the screw, that's for sure. They're going to get chances.
Perhaps that Hartley chance was what they needed. Sanders, it's the same ball again towards Jack Dean, and he gets the header on it again. Might come for Jackson. They want handball there. Not given. Jackson furious. Looked like his arm was close to his body, is what I would say. And Nicholas Jupp is down.
That looked like a handball to me.
Well, we're going to see it again. It was good play again from Farnham. Zaki Waller's not happy about the goalkeeper going down seemingly absolutely fine. We're going to just have a look at the handball.
It just looked... I mean, it is, isn't it? His hand is in an unnatural position.
Yeah, definitely dodged one there. Hartley Whitney. And they recognise that, and that's why Nicholas Jupp is down. And it has increasingly become a part of the game. Just looking to work on their shape. Definitely an interesting one. But Jackson's starting to have more of an impact from an attacking perspective. Fresh off the back of scoring against Westfield. Just a word there between the two officials. Not sure what that was about. But it's not the first time Jupp's gone down this afternoon.
Yeah, it's such a silly rule, isn't it? Like, you can just... It's like that. It's like the hold the head rule. You can just manipulate it exactly how you want.
Gray Evans is on the touchline, ready to go. Here's Gallagher. Tanner will challenge Wallace here. Whacked away by Wallace. Just a bit more ferociousness to the game. Crowd are into it.
Yeah, it's better. Sana's looking for that switch every time. Kamara's now gone back into that position.
Cooksley tracking all the way back. Feeds Purcell. Cooksley for Joe Jackson. Into Sanders. And Sanders! Well, it very nearly found its way in. Lovely combination play between Jackson and Sanders.
Yeah, he did so well. He just needed a striker to nod it in.
This is what we like to see. Farnham attacking the clock end with a deficit to try and overturn.
Yeah, a bit of jeopardy to the game.
Chasing 100 points. Defeat today would really make that a much more difficult task. They will, of course, be favourites at Binfield on Saturday, but pressure will start to ramp up at that point. Jackson.
Good pass to Cooksey.
Here's Dean. Gallagher drifting out to the right. And Gallagher giving away the goal kick. And we are going to see two changes. Kai Tanner makes way. not able to continue his excellent goal-scoring form. Mark Waters, who was on the wrong end of a really bad tackle on Saturday, is going to come on to try and help rescue the situation, and as is Great Evans. Jordan Gallagher makes way for him. Something different.
Certainly something different. Change of shape. Cooksey and Sanders into the 10.
Purcell didn't quite drop for Liddell. Cooksey,
nice touch.
Won it though, and now Sanders looking to release Evans. Both he and Liddell were to Sanders' right. Nobody really offering up anything on the left. Waters. Half an hour to go. Farnham a goal behind. Felt they should have had a penalty just now. Evans with the turn and the shot.
Telegraphed the shot in the end, but it was brilliant feet from Evans.
Sanders looking for Dean again.
Done well
by Dean again. Drops for Dean now, and now Purcell. Oh, and Chuff made that look more difficult than it should have been.
Yeah. Purcell took a sandwich towards goal. And it looked like it was going to sneak under Jupp at one point.
Did open up for Purcell there. Good enough effort. Cooksley for Adam Liddell, whose touch got away from him.
Well, it's entertaining.
It is.
Farnham need a goal. This man might be the answer to that.
Oh, and Jackson is offside. Look close. Liddell turns it in. Won't count.
Better from Farnham though.
Looked very close, that, I have to say. Farnham are probing with more and more intent as this game goes on. Hartley not really trying to keep possession. They presented it straight back to Farnham. Waters. Sanders. That one's easy enough for Wallace. Now Waters.
Shoulders lower! Shoulders lower!
Who is going to step up and provide the moment that Farnham are craving.
It's another good ball.
Dean gets up, and Dean trying to tangle with Kamara. Wins the corner.
I mean, Farnham are usually quite predictable in one way, but this is a whole new tactic. We're just sticking it on Jack Dean in that back stick.
Cooksley is going to have to wait to take this.
Wait, half and half, shut the six off. Half and half, shut the six off.
So now Cooksley can
Get on split to his side, literally.
whip this in towards Canaan and Stetney, who are forward. Here's a more whip delivery. But it missed Dean and it missed everybody, and Canaan's going to have to scurry back. It's Tanner and He's just behind a misser.
Really
Cooksley
good from
got back
Cooksley.
in. And Purcell gets his head up and looks
Dean.
for Jack Dean. Gets his body in between ball and George Wallace.
Shoulders, Lynchy! Shoulders, Lynchy!
Cooksley. Now Purcell. Jackson. Purcell. He was caught. Referee plays the advantage.
Good one.
Shoulders, JP!
Dean looking to take Wallace on. Jackson! Oh, and it could have gone absolutely anywhere off that deflection from Aaron Burchett. We got another Hartley player down in the box.
Another great chance forward from a nice piece of Farnham play. Jackson watched it onto his foot, made good contact with it. It was goal bound.
Could have been another Joe Jackson moment at the Memorial Ground. Sanders will take over from the corner.
That's just as bad as what we've watched.
Cooksley looking to work it back into Sanders. But Sam Tanner did well, and now Lynch, who's on his own but able to hold it up as Emissa arrives to provide support. It was a bit audacious. Now we've really got an interesting 25 minutes on our hands. Farnham a goal behind, but all over Hartley Whitney now. Stepney. Sanders. Jackson is the option. But again, it's floated towards Jack Dean, who arrived and gave Wallace a nudge, and that was a foul.
I imagine he will stay down.
Yep, your imagination was correct.
Well, it does show Farnham trying something different, at least.
Clock end really getting into it. Klein unable to win the header. Purcell brought down.
That's poor refereeing, I think. for as much as he wanted to get that game going, is either a booking or just get on with it.
Oh, yeah. It's painful.
Ooh. Didn't love the look of that. Sanders rolled his ankle in front of us.
Canane. Sanders limping, not joining in the attack. Canane doesn't realise that and gives it to Sanders. Canane looking for Evans. Oh, what a crucial touch from Burchett. And it's behind for a corner.
It was a superb cross.
Well, we said we didn't think we'd see Sanders and Croy.
Might more likely to see Max Meaton, to be honest. They've given it straight to Ben Purcell, and he's going to shoot.
And nobody happy with that.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the idea was. Farnham have been quite dangerous from set pieces.
Yeah, and that will be music to Hartley Whitney's ears. Ben Purcell taking aim from 35 yards. As good as he is. And Nicholas Jupp allowed to take his time again. And winning here is becoming a really genuine possibility for Hartley Whitney now. They've weathered the first half of this second period. Up by Canane, brought down by Little. Dean looking for Gray Evans. And that's a Hartley Whitney throw.
Nietzsche, tell Backer, use his brain! Use his brains, Backer! Don't dive in! Don't dive in!
More than 240 people watching on the stream now. Thank you very much for being with us for what is hopefully a great climax here. Stepney backtracking.
Sanders seems to have run off his injury. Don't think he'll be 100%, but it's good enough to get back on the ball with 20 to go. He will be vital if Farnham are to make their way back into this game.
Purcell. It's the same target. Kamara getting back in to help out with those diagonals now. Waters. Canane, I wonder if he might cross again from this sort of position. He does, and it's Evans, a target again. He was just having his shirt pulled there. He got the touch on it anyway. Looked like any contact would have resulted in a goal, but wasn't meaningful enough from Evans. Another good cross from Canane, though. And they can't really allow Canane that much time, can they, on the ball in that sort of area?
No. Farnham beginning to carve out better and better chances in front of goal.
Sanders. This will be a test of his health.
Looking to force it a bit. I mean, Zaki Waller has had one save to make. He had no fault in the goal.
Yeah, the save that led to the corner that brought the goal for Hartley Whitney, though.
You're right.
Kamara looking to take on Purcell. He got
Done well.
a bit discombobulated there. Here's Evans. Might have been better off just laying that off to Little. Canane going in strong. Waters punishing Kamara for taking too long on the ball. Cooksley goes down.
I mean, it was a yellow card tackle.
Downey also went down.
I think more to get away from the referee thinking it was him.
Yeah, the teams that have had joy here this season have done it through very clever game management. Hartley Whitney is certainly falling into that category up to now.
I'm surprised Louis Downey has got away without a booking there.
Cooksley from deep. Another poor delivery.
This is a good ball.
And Lynch up against Purcell. And just about did enough, Purcell. He's not the tallest.
There will be chances in this final 20 minutes. Farnham are running out of time.
Waters. Sanders wanted to play it into Jackson again. He said he'll look for Dean, it's too heavy. And again we see Downey go down. Don't know if I've seen a team be quite this cynical with their time wasting.
Back up! Back up! Back up!
Sanderson Croy is going to come on.
Interesting.
For Ben Purcell.
God, wasn't expecting that one.
So perhaps we'll see Cooksley back in at number 8. Deeper alongside Mark Waters, and Disson Croy will play with Daryl Sanders, who we wondered if he was going to have to come off injured. But he's okay for now. Farnham's only remaining substitute is Max Meaton.
Yeah, not an attacking substitution.
No, you'd possibly see Joe Jackson moved around if Meaton was introduced.
Yeah, true.
Also going to see Alfie Edmonds for Hartley Whitney. And surprise, surprise, it's Louis Downey, who went down earlier and now has gone down again because they are ready to make the change.
"16 comes on.
All smiles down there.
He looks no older than 16.
Waters' header. Up by Penton. Tanner challenged Canane. And Stepney had to get something on that.
Did really well.
Quarter of an hour left. There has been a lot of stoppages though, so might be more like 20 minutes left. Either way, Farnham got to come up with something. Kingstonian lead. There you go, yeah, they lead at Guernsey. Bradley Wilson. Here's Jackson. Sanders back to Jackson. No flag. And Farnham corner. And let's hope for a better delivery.
Well, I don't hold out a huge amount of hope, if I'm honest. I must have watched 10 plus Farnham corners here. Only one has been attacked, Ryan Canane, I remember. Maybe Jack Dean, first one. That's a better one.
Better one.
Good punch.
Well punched away from Jupp, head of Canane, who's going to get right onto that.
He's done well.
His delivery from open play, not on point this time. Done all the hard work. Waters. Stepney. Canane. Dean. Cooksley. Will he deliver again? He does for Disson Croy. Good chance for him. Normally so potent. Heading around the 6-yard box. Disson Croy. They get it clear again. Jackson.
Canane going forward.
Now Disson Croy, who's going to be disappointed with himself about that last chance.
It was a good one. Farnham did really well.
Waters. Oh, a misplaced pass from Waters. Untimely one as well. Looked like Hartley Whitney were just a bit penned in there.
Farnham gone to a back two.
Jackson's header on. Sanders missed his. Farnham can afford to go to a back two.
Yeah. It was like this game's either going to finish 1-1 or 2-0. Some sort of breakaway goal on the death.
Dean has been the recipient of most of the switches of play. He was looking to switch to Jackson that time, and Jackson didn't expect the ball to be missed. And we move into the 80th minute as Kingstonian go 2-0 up at Guernsey. Really important goal there for Dan Rowe for Kingstonian. Cooksley. Daryl Sanders. Jackson for Sanders. This is nice. Liddell. Being kept company by Birchett and gives it away. Straight back to Waters though, and now
really
Cooksley. Kinane. Jackson, Evans couldn't turn and get the shot away. Sanders. Liddell turns back. And it's all the way back to Stepney.
Don't shoot from here, build it up. Farnham have been in the box more in the last 2 minutes than they have for the last 45. No shots on goal.
Yeah, Evans looked like he could have just swiveled and shot that. Sanders. Has Farnham come again? Cooksley floats it in. That was one of his better crosses.
Was.
Dean fouled, a needless one. And Daryl Sanders will have another go. Sanderson Croy is the last man back for Farnham, and he's just outside the box. In by Sanders. Waters got something on it. Jackson.
That's good.
Liddell. Cooksley wants it. And Cooksley's effort.
Just over. Great strike. Farnham working. Some opportunities now.
We are going to see Max Meaton, and it's for Joe Jackson. With 8 minutes of normal time to play. So a straight swap at left back. Max Meaton's last goal for Farnham Town was a famous one. Evans couldn't get that past New. No, it's the opposite number 5, Ryan Kinane, who's got to track back. Cooksley. Lots of space for him to work with. Less space for Sanders, but he dances his way away from Edmonds. Cooksley again. Nice work from Cooksley. Keeps going, and it's Meaton. Nice pump fake from Meaton and a good cross. Waters gets his head to it. And Waters' shot.
Great strike. And a good save.
And Jupp is down again.
It's sand in the eyes.
Sam Tanner's also down. Got to hand it to Hartley Whitney. Bending the rules as much as they can.
Absolutely. Well, they've been good.
Yeah, it's got a bit better the last 5 or so minutes for Farnham, you would say. Thanks for the nice comment, Paul. Yes, Jaden, they'll be promoted to the Southern Premier South. So this game isn't of much consequence in terms of that, but Farnham are looking to hunt down 100 points. They're on 99. Even an equaliser here would get them to the Centurion milestone.
Yeah, it's an important goal if they can find it. Arbitrary in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, they don't want to go on that open top bus as losers today. Don't want to give Hartley Whitney the satisfaction of victory either, as good as they've been. Sanders for Liddell. Back to Sanders, and he's looking over the top now. Handball claims against Birchett, missed by the referee. Stepney winning that battle with Amisa. Liddell gives away the free kick, and I mean, it was quite soft.
10 yards away from you. Fucking 10 yards away from you, like. You give there, or you give out.
John Stepney having some words with a couple of fans on the sidelines.
How
4 minutes remain. How long dare the referee add at the end of that? All eyes on him, really.
Oh, that was a poor pass from Cooksey.
Tanner. That deflected off Canane into the feet of Jack Dean. He's got Waters going now.
Finally to get up.
Meaton. Now Canane. Waters. Harry Cooksley. Looking for Dean. It's headed away as far as Disancroy. Here he is again, Disancroy. Another cross from out wide. Cooksley will challenge for it on the edge. Swept across to Canane.
I feel there's going to be one or two more chances.
Adam Liddell stays onside. His cross can't beat Wallace. One back by Waters. Hartley Whitney are completely camped in their own half.
As they have been for most of this game.
Ryan Canane. Another cross from him, easy enough for Adam New. Max Meaton. He floats one, and it's straight at Juck. And that's another 30 seconds about to be wasted away. Sam Tanner down again.
Oh, God. If this meant something, I'd really be annoyed. It's just so boring. What's your guess for added time then?
Should be about 8.
I think that would be kind. For Hartley.
We are in the 90th minute, so signal shouldn't be too far away. A couple of changes. Dede and we're seeing a misser going off. He's played well today. Against Dede. It's going to be 9 minutes added on. So there's your answer.
Ooh, some rain enters Farnham.
Dede trying to buy the corner off Meaton. So Farnham know exactly how long they've got. Do they have a hero? Let's get them over the line as Centurions. Cooksley. Meaton's at the back post.
I don't know what I'd have done. I don't know what I'd have done. Oh, I think he should have taken it with his foot.
Could have taken a touch as well.
He could have done anything he wanted. He had the keys to Farnham in front of him.
Would have been given the freedom of Farnham if he'd have found the back of the net with that.
He's already got that.
Certainly calls for it, and that's not quite going to drop for Liddell, and it's blasted out of Farnham by Adam New.
Genuinely out of Farnham. That is £35 I'm never going to see again. But next season, new balls. So actually, the least of my worries.
Waters.
Cavernous hole in the middle of the pitch for Farnham Town.
Ryan Canane will move into it. Cooksley, whose last cross was an excellent one. Jack Dean, now Canane. Cooksley offside. And just miscommunication between the two pals there, Canane and Cooksley. 2.5 minutes of the 9 added have elapsed. Hartley Whitney getting closer to what will be a real signature win for them in an otherwise disappointing season. Season, of course, for them will run on into May with that cup final against Tadley.
Canane goes forward as a striker.
Cooksley. Plenty of time. It's got to go in now for Cooksley. Towards Canane. It might come out here for Stepney. Well, he's fizzed it into the clock end.
He may have killed someone. He genuinely may have killed someone.
It's a ferocious effort.
It really was. I mean, that was the summary of it stayed here. We know he's he liked that one. He's not had many chances. So he gives me a smile. He knows that wasn't too far away. And on target, that was it.
Had to cut across it slightly more, didn't it? Had to, he did hit it too well. Stepney in his second spell at the club. That would have been a crowning moment. Waters. Over to Cooksley. Oh. It's all hard work at the moment.
God.
5 minutes to go. Cooksey with time.
Oh,
Low cross into Liddell. Kept alive by Disancroy. Dean gets a touch. Liddell backing into Wallace.
oh, it's a silly foul.
Yeah, these fouls are really damaging with the time as much as anything else. Referee not giving Jupp any sort of hurry up.
Yeah, I mean, Jupp has got away with it today, hasn't he? Without a single even talking to. But it's been a tail of the game. Oh, I can't afford to waste too much time in this corner.
Out by Wallace.
He's had an excellent game, George Wallace.
Stepney. 3 minutes left. Harry Cooksley.
That's good.
Croy. Can he dig out a cross? Away by Ford. And then away again by Dede.
If Zaki don't keep that in, which he's going to, it would have been a disaster.
Stepney.
Feel like there's going to be one more chance here for Farnham.
Waters. Canane is literally playing centre forward. Waters floats it. Dean gets a head on it. Oh, and that's a mistake. And Liddell, handball claim again, but it's going to be a corner. It's going to be a corner.
Another hand that was in an unnatural position. Referee was right there.
Well, if ever there was a time for Harry Cooksley to put one of these on a sixpence,
This feels like it.
they are all forward. It's a better delivery. Dean got a head on it, and they want another corner. Referee didn't see it that way.
Well, I have to give credit to Hartley. They've come and done a job on Farnham here. It's been 95% Farnham. But one mistake, and that's enough.
Remember, last chance to get 30% off at the club shop. We've shopped 30. As we come towards the end of the season in terms of live streams. Stepney's header down. Meaton just wants to get it forward. Liddell.
Done well. Didn't quite win it the second time of asking.
Canane's header down for Stepney. Hartley want the foul. Referee says play on. Stepney looks for options.
Farnham have time to build this up. That's going to be
Missed by
okay.
Cooksley, but it's Jack Dean, and Canane is on the run. Here's Dean.
Oh,
That's a heavy pass from Dean.
that was the chance. And it was Captain Canane on that right hand side, playing his right wing position.
Well, it doesn't look like today is going to be the day for Farnham Town to hit the 100-point mark.
We're done! We're done, ref!
No look at the watch just yet from the referee. And he's going to let them launch it forward here, is he?
One more chance for Farnham Town.
Forward by Canane. And it's dropped for Waters. And Cooksley.
Oh, it was a poor touch.
And that's it. Hartley Whitney have done it. And you hear the cheer down below us. A hard-fought win for them. Farnham huffed and puffed in the second half, but couldn't find the breakthrough. And thanks to Connor Lynch's goal in the first half, it finishes here. Farnham Town 0, Hartley Whitney 1. And that brings an end to the campaign at home for Farnham Town. It's been a great campaign, not to be ruined by today. But a disappointing result nonetheless on a day in which Farnham Town will parade through the town with the trophy. Not to be for them this afternoon, but what a season. And it rolls on to Saturday at Binfield. That's the last opportunity for Farnham to reach 100 points. So, not the end of the world, but not what the doctor ordered. And as I say, today is your opportunity to get 30% off at the club shop. All the details on the screen for you. But we are done here, as Hartley Whitney are the winners this afternoon.